Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sable and I talk about comics and other nerdy things. I saw a post on Instagram from one of the big DC news outlets asking Scott Snyder if we are going to get more Black-led comics and comic series. We've had a lot of mini-series in the past, but it's been a big complaint that there just isn't enough Black-led comic books right now. As usual, there are people in the comments arguing for more representation, and then you have people in the comments saying skin color doesn't matter as long as the story is good. What I think is interesting about this complaint against DC is that I don't see this complaint as much from Marvel, and I think Marvel does a much better job of handling their Black characters. I think Marvel has made it so that their Black characters feel more seamlessly integrated into their superheroes. Marvel is just better with diversity in general, and I think a lot of the reasons why they are successful in that endeavor is due to the X-Men. The X-Men as a group and as a team is just flawless when it comes to diversity. You see young, old, different nationalities, different races. They are the standard for diversity. And because Marvel makes X-Men such a big part of their brand identity, part of that brand identity now is diversity, and DC just does not have that. The problem with DC is that months like this for Black History Month is when they prop up their Black characters, but every other month we don't really hear from them. Same thing with Latino History Month, etc., etc. These characters are only brought to the forefront when they need them to, and that's why we sometimes feel like they are mascots as opposed to being actual standing members of the DC universe. And it's funny because not every character feels like this. Cyborg is a character that I think DC does a good job of integrating into their main storylines, and he doesn't feel like he's there just for Black representation. Same thing with Jon Stewart. These are characters that I think are handled and treated very well. Can't say the same for other characters, but this does also hint to a deeper issue. The deeper issue with DC is not just the race of the characters and them not getting the shine. It's the fact that a lot of characters in general do not get the shine. DC hyper focuses, and you heard me talk about this before, DC hyper focuses on the Bat family and the Justice League, and other characters suffer. Other characters do not get the time, the attention, the care from DC that they deserve. And unfortunately, this goes for a lot of Black characters and why we just don't see them. With the integration of Static Shock, which a lot of people are excited about, and rightfully so, because Static Shock is not a typical DC character. There's a whole bunch of legalese about that I'm not going to go into now, but Static Shock is finally being realized as a DC character, and there's a lot of potential with him. I've always said that Static Shock should have had the success that Miles Morales has, but once again, topic for another video. With the inclusion of Static Shock now, DC has no excuse to not give him the ball and have him run with it. He is a very popular character. He's been popular for many years. He's a likable character. He's relatable. He's someone that could definitely help DC with their representation problem. But once again, the representation problem goes far beyond just Black characters. Unfortunately, DC does not feel like it has the resources to give shine to everybody the same way that Marvel does, and I think that's lazy thinking. I think if DC really put in the investment to some of these characters, they'd be surprised at who takes off. But let me know what you think.